When Markus Schwarzer plays with fire, the 39-year-old doesn't just shoot a single rocket into the sky. He likes things to really pop.
Well, fireworks are definitely a lot of fun, that's for sure. After all, who doesn't like playing with fire? But of course, there is also a lot of work behind it, and that's why we are here. Made in Germany means quality, and quality needs to be checked. And that's why we do quality control here and launch the rockets to see if they actually work properly.
Quality assurance at a fireworks manufacturer? That sounds like a dream job. But how does the so-called effect get into the rocket? And which cake firework ensures the biggest bang? In Eitorf near Bonn, it's New Year's Eve all year round, because fireworks are made here all year round.
We start producing again on January 2nd for the end of the year. We are actually already well into the planning for the following season and produce for stock all year round. And in the last 2 weeks of the year, all the goods are then delivered to the customers by road so that fireworks are also in stock for New Year's Eve.
The first step in the production of a New Year's rocket is always the manufacture of small engines so that the rockets can take off later.
We are here in the so-called black powder compaction press. This is where the rocket engines are made, so to speak. The whole process involves cardboard tubes, which are inserted into a specially designed cassette and then briefly pressed into the cassette. On the underside of this cassette are metal mandrels, which later create the drive nozzles. The cassette is then placed here at the front under the filling device.
In the volumetric filling process, kaolin and black powder granules are filled into tubes. After that, the explosive mixture is mechanically compressed at a pressure of more than 100 tons. However, for safety reasons, it is placed behind a protective wall in the next room.
Actually, it's like in a rocket engine, like we know from a large rocket. Only not with fuel, but in this case with black powder.
In the second step, the engines are then glued to the rocket body, the so-called offset sleeve, using hot glue. The machine automatically inserts the fuse at this point as well.
Finally, the familiar protective cap is placed on top, and the semi-finished rocket body moves on to the next production process.
In the third step, things get really explosive, because only now is the rocket body filled with the prepared effect shells.
This is where the most important thing of all goes into the rocket, the effect. In this case, the burst charge is filled with a double strike bomb. This means that it makes 2 loud bangs in the sky.
The effect, that is, the beautiful explosion in the sky, is inserted by hand. Inside the charge are the chemicals responsible for the color in form of alkali metal nitrates. To protect the actual pyrotechnic charge, the machine immediately places a plastic cap on top. But the finished rocket still can't fly yet.
Here the rocket is being finished. The wooden stick is added, the so-called guide stick. Without it, the rocket won't be able to fly up to 80 meters high.
The so-called guide stick made of spruce wood is glued to the rocket body with hot and cold glue. This last production step also takes place in one of the small huts. This seemingly strange division of the individual rocket production steps into small huts is extremely important for the entire production process. The main reason for this is the safety of the people here, who work with black powder day in and day out.
Every single production area is actually a small hut, if you can call it that. A small chamber separated to the next one by reinforced concrete. The construction method is required by law. It's called a monolithic construction, which means there is a predetermined breaking point in case of a deflagration. Then there is a side that can blow out in a controlled manner. Also, it must be ensured that something like that does not spread into other areas of production. All the individual areas are usually quite a distance apart. Additionally, everything is separated by security walls. Also, we are located on a very large site. And that is actually the typical characteristic of production facilities for pyrotechnics.
This newer production line is also mostly outdoors. The 80 square meter machine is used to produce cake firework. More than 10 years ago, this was the production site of the first cake firework manufactured in Germany.
This is where the effect shells, the tubes that include the actual effect, are packed. The machine is compressing the composition inside the cardboard tubes. This is actually the most dangerous part, because it involves compressing pyrotechnics, including black powder.
At the same time, traditional rockets have to be packed in the traditional way, individually and by hand. The cake firework machine, on the other hand, is already a step further.
Here at the front, we see the brightly printed cardboard box. The machine unfolds it, so to speak. The loaded tubes are placed inside, then lifted up, and then it travels on the conveyor system. In the end, the last step is to put the lid on, and then the cake firework would be ready to be launched. The trend is still towards multi-shot cake firework because it's obviously very convenient. Just light it once and you can get up to 2 or 3 minutes of total burning time. And if you combine several, all on a base plate, this is then called a firework display. And then, since the pyrotechnics law was changed in Germany, we have the option now of shooting so-called 500-gram batteries. This means that I have more than double the amount of effect charge that had been allowed in cake firework before. Accordingly, I naturally have large effects and loud bangs. But I can't imagine fireworks without rockets. The rocket made in Germany will continue to be Germany's favorite.
That's why, alongside the various new cake firework displays, Markus Schwarzer still prefers to test his rockets. And the 39-year-old doesn't even have to wait for New Year's Eve or another suitable occasion. Because right next to the fireworks factory, he is not only allowed, but also encouraged to shoot fireworks all year round. Officially, of course, only for quality control purposes. But the fireworks fan obviously also gets a little kick out of it as well. What about you? Would that be a job for you? Let us know in the comments. More from YouKnow. Click here to go to the next videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for more.